I'm doing another Balisong video today. Thank you very much to all the people who've been patiently waiting for a new Balisong vid. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Instead of doing the normal one knife, one trick, I'm going to try to show you some tips and tricks on how to flip doubles. Doubles is two Balisongs, usually with two hands, but I thought it'd be fun to start off like that. Can I close them? Yes, I can. So this is going to be a video on how to do doubles. What in the world are doubles? Just what it sounds like. Two Balisongs flipping at the same time. Usually not like that with one hand, but use two hands. There's plenty of different ways to do it. Doing moves simultaneously. All right, so now I have your attention. You want to get really good at flipping two knives at the same time, right? The best advice I can give to you is right off the bat, put one of your knives down, because it's not going to happen. There's a bunch of things that have to kind of go in order to you to even begin to start learning how to flip two knives at the same time. First of all, when you first grab a Balisong, what do? You automatically go for it with your dominant hand. Most of us are righties, so that for me, I'm righty. My right hand's my dominant hand. My left hand, when I'm flipping a Balisong, 99% of the time, it's just kind of flopping in the breeze, it's in my pocket, it's behind my back, it's out of the way, it's just dangling. Sometimes if you get really into flipping, you'll see people do like weird little movements with their fingers and stuff. I've caught myself doing that where like, I'm really into something in my right hand, and if you just looked at my offhand, I'd be like cringing and making all kinds of messed up movements. That's fine, that's normal, that's you just focusing. All right, if you do funky things like that, then you might want to stick it in your pocket as to not freak people out. But the first thing you have to do is get really, really good with your one hand. Start off simple, you know, basic horizontal. Practice. Make sure that you can do this every time without screwing up. Once you get really good at it, go faster. Don't try something else yet, just go faster with that same move. Make sure you can get it every single time. Then let's say you start advancing to something like a rollover, right? You get really good at the simple stuff. You do something just a little bit harder, that's cool. Make sure that whatever you're doing, you get really good at it. Now, most of you at this point would say, all right, I'm good at this, right? Let me grab another knife and let me try to do the same thing again. Wrong, you're gonna fail. Before you can grab that second knife, you have to start learning moves with your offhand. That left hand that used to be in your pocket, it's jello. It's got no muscle memory, nothing going on there. All right, so you throw a knife in here, you're awesome with this hand. You do all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, but you get into this hand, and all of a sudden, you can't do anything because you're not used to flipping with that hand. You might have been spending 10 years flipping with this hand, like I have, I'm guilty, and never putting a knife in this hand. So when you finally put it in this hand, things are a little bit more awkward. And you know how you can tell someone's not as good in that less dominant hand? The arm movement. All right, let's get back to the very simple, basic horizontal. Basic horizontal with my dominant hand, I can lock my elbow in completely straight. Lock your arm out and do the entire move with your wrists. Don't put any arm into it whatsoever. It's all the wrists. I can sit here and do this all day long because I've been doing this for a decade. With the left hand, it's much harder with that elbow locked. All right, what I want to do, what I tend to do, is I'll use my arm motion as opposed to just using the wrist. I'll use my whole arm to get into it, so it's a little bit easier to get the motions. How I'm manipulating my fingers and the grip it's very awkward to me because I have no muscle memory. This hand, you know, I can do this in my sleep. This hand, it's not as fluent. And now this is just a very simple move. You know, it's not anything complex. So right off the bat, before you grab two knives, get good with your dominant hand, then start practicing with your less dominant hand. All right, you have to start building some kind of muscle memory and doing some of the basic moves. All right. Now, assuming you've mastered some simple stuff with this hand and now you're starting to get good with this hand and you want to grab another knife, the best option you can go with are two identical knives. Okay, these are not identical knives because I want to represent more than likely what your situation is. Most people, they start off with a cheap Balisong. All right, this is a very good cheap Balisong. It's a Jaguar. All right, real quick note, combo edge on this one, don't do it. Balisongs with serrations are not your friend. If you're using your Balisong to cut stuff, that's cool, fine. You don't want cuts from serrations. Serrations will rip you up. They leave very uneven, jagged wounds that take a long time to heal, all right, and they're probably going to get infected. You want, if you're gonna flip with a sharp knife, keep it razor sharp and stick with a plain edge. That's gonna be your best bet. If you do get cut, they'll be clean, simple cuts. They may be deeper because it is sharper, but they will heal faster. If you have a semi-sharp blade and you get cut, it's nasty, it tears the skin. If you do get cut, which you don't want to, but if you do get cut, you want a nice clean slice. It'll heal back together nicely, you know, very clean, very simple. It won't get infected as easily. When you have a semi-sharp edge, or specifically serrations, you really get some nasty cuts that will not heal, okay? And it'll make you completely miserable. So this is probably what it is. You start off with a cheaper knife. You flipped it, you like the hobby, maybe your knife kind of had problems, got too much play in it, whatever the situation is, you say, all right, I'm gonna chalk up the money, I'm gonna get something better. For a lot of you, that means maybe originally with some Chinese Balisong, and then maybe you got like a Bradley Kimura, you know, one of those variants, whatever it may be. It's likely that you probably have one better Balisong and one cheaper Balisong. So that's why I'm using this as a representation. Ideally, you want two identical Balisongs because you want the weight, the feel, everything to be the same. You want to be able to flip-flop them in hands and, you know, not have any effect on what you're doing. All right? That's not everyone's case. In this case, we're looking at two very different Balisongs. Both of these knives have different characteristics. They feel different in the hand. The Jaguar is much wider. It's much heavier. So here's the deal. If you have to go with two different ones, my suggestion to you is keep your heavier and or bigger, in this case wider, because they're both about the same length, but it is definitely heavier. Keep that in your dominant hand, so you'll have more control over that. Keep your lighter and or smaller knife in your offhand, all right? A little tip from me to you, because that will help you. All right, so there's a couple different ways you can go about doing doubles, okay? I'm gonna start off with the easiest way. The very easiest way that I've found doing doubles is to do what's called mirroring. Mirroring is as if there was a mirror in between both of these knives, okay? If I were to start off with this on like a 45-degree angle, you know, pointing like that, I'd want to do the opposite, not the same. This is not mirroring, okay? This is mirroring. It's the exact opposite look. If you do something like this, and you do it at the same time, mirroring means, you know, if I do like just a simple, I'm not even gonna open and close this like a horizontal, I'm just gonna flop it open and flop it shut. Keep an eye on both knives if you can at the same time. They're both doing the exact same thing, like a mirror image, okay? In fact, this is a great drill to do. If you, first time you're picking up two Balisongs at the same time, hold your safe handles, keep your bite handles in the middle, and just open and close them. Open and close them, and try to have them synchronize the exact same time. You don't want to hear click, 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 click. You want to hear the same click as if it's one knife. And practice this, and when you get pretty good at it, go faster. Once you've mastered this, maybe you can do an actual move, you know? But that's mirroring. It's the same move, but with both hands at the same time. All right, you can do this with pretty much any move. If you want to do something a little bit more advanced, something like that. But that's mirroring. The second thing you can do, which I find is like the medium grade as far as difficulty, is doing one simple move in each hand at the same time, but keeping a different grip. For example, I believe I started off the video, or at some point I did this move. This is one of the easier double moves that I can do, and that is basically a basic horizontal with this knife, as I'm doing like a reverse horizontal with this knife. Okay, so basically with this one, it looks like this, but at the same time, doing that. All right, individually, it's very simple. Doing it at the same time, sometimes can create a little bit of difficulty. All right, so the simplest things, once you do them at the same time with two hands, it becomes very hard to do. Here's a great little test, all right? Try this. Put your knives down for a second. All right, I did this when I was in school in like first grade. It was a fun little exercise, and it has to do with, you know, your brain and how it works, you know, just how it's sending signals to your muscles and stuff, and how some things are hard to do at the same time. Try this one. Take your right hand and pat your head, right? Now stop. Take your left hand and do a circle around your stomach. Pretty easy, right? Well, now do them at the exact same time. Pat your head as you're rubbing your stomach. Now, a lot of you guys out there can do this, but some of you will find that you're gonna go like this, and you're gonna kind of like, you don't know what to do. You can't do two things at the same time. You know, you can't, you know, the joke is you can't chew gum and walk at the same time because that's very simple to do. But some people are built like that. Some people just can't do two completely different things at the same time. They can't keep the attention or the focus, or in balisongs, maybe the eye-hand coordination that's necessary. It's not for everyone. I'm not that good at it. You know, what you're seeing here is probably my best example of me doing this, but I can't just freestyle with two balisongs and just go at it, you know, like some people can. There's some amazing balisong flippers on here, and they could probably give you some better tips and tricks than I can. But I'm just giving you some basic things that I've personally learned from experience of what helps, and what helps you to kind of do drills, like I was saying before, something as simple as opening and closing at the same time, and mirroring. This is definitely going to help you kind of get the muscle memory that you're going to need, and build up some of the muscles in your fingertips and wrists and so forth that you're normally not using. Alright, so hopefully some of these tips kind of help you guys out. I'd love to see video responses if you guys can do doubles, because I'm not that great at it, honestly. There's not a whole lot I can do. If I do grab two balisongs, generally speaking, there'll be two simple moves done at the same time. You know, that's basically, it can look very impressive. This, almost anyone can do. You could take someone who's never held a balisong, teach them properly, give them about 20 minutes, and they'll be able to do a basic horizontal. Alright? That same person with enough time can easily do that. Alright? It's really not that hard to do. But it's going to take a lot more effort to do it at the same time, because you're going to want to mix and match your muscles and what you're supposed to do. It's going to be hard for some people and not as hard for others. Alright, I'm not sure exactly where I left off there because I had a phone call. But basically there's three different types of doubles you can do. The first or easiest is mirroring, okay? It's an exact copy. Same move, same time, two hands, right? The second way you can do doubles is simple moves, but one in a regular grip and one in a reverse grip, okay? It doesn't matter what you're doing or how simple they are, as long as you're doing them at the same time. The last way and the hardest way are two completely different, unrelated moves. I personally cannot do this. I've tried many times. I cannot do, or not successfully do, two completely different moves at the same time like some people can do. Some people are amazing flippers and far, far better than I am. And they can do, like, you know, a couple of rollovers with this hand at the same time, you know, doing maybe an aerial with this hand. I can't do it. I don't have that coordination. So with one hand, it looks pretty impressive. Throw two balisongs in my hand, things start getting a little bit fishy. You know, things get definitely a little bit harder. But have fun with it, be safe. Hopefully these tips have helped you guys out. So video responses are always welcome. I know a couple YouTubers who happen to flip all the time, who I love to do video responses just to show off their awesome, awesome flipping skills and to wow you guys beyond belief, beyond anything I can ever do. Alright, that's pretty much it, guys. Just wanted to give you some tips and tricks on flipping with two balisongs. Again, the best thing you can do is get good with your offhand before you even think about picking up a second balisong and flipping at the same time. So thanks for watching, as always. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.